Hey, Towelites! Welcome back to another unboxing right here on Don'tForgetATowel.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Deluxe figure, General Grievous. So this is a figure that we've been waiting a long time for, to be honest. I think that the only interpretation at this scale we've had is the Bandai model kit, and a lot of people have opted for that, which is a great looking figure if you have the time to put it together and the patience, and also the time to paint it. So that's a little bit more work than most action figure collectors are willing to go through to put a character on their shelf. But Black Series, Hasbro's first out of the gate. We know that there is a Bandai figure coming soon in the Figure Arts line. Something that I'm very interested in, but I wanted to see how this Hasbro figure would stack up to A, it being the first deluxe figure in the line, and B, since it's a masked figure, most of the time Hasbro has done a great job on these. Sometimes when it comes to the faces it gets a little wonky even with the face technology, but these figures tend to be more on the positive side when it comes to my reviews, because they are able to deliver a decent body build, now soft goods, and even a great looking face. So I'm excited. I've watched a couple of reviews on this already, just to kind of get into the spirit of this, and actually I decided to do my own review after watching the reviews. So let's check it out. Let's talk a little bit about the Deluxe General Grievous right here. Grievous's first appearance in Star Wars lore is now Legends. He first appeared on the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. You know, the creator of Samurai Jack. I love those little shorts. That was a great series prior to the Disney acquisition of Star Wars. So General Grievous is kind of caught in that weird limbo of what his true origin is. Like in the Clone Wars, the first Clone Wars cartoon, he had 5 arms. Later it was 4 arms. So he kind of evolved in the cartoon. That showed how Mace Windu crushed his chest with a force, causing him to have that cough and wheeze in Revenge of the Sith, which became his official first appearance in what is now canon. So it's all a little bit of a blender mix right there. So if you haven't watched the original Clone Wars cartoons, go back and do it. It's a great first appearance. It really kind of sets him up as a threatening character, and I kind of lose that as they move into the movie realm. He was okay on the Clone Wars animated show on the one that lasted 5-6 seasons on Cartoon Network. He was a good character, but at the same time, he was a little bit more of a mirror image of his movie character, which I was not a big fan of. So, whatever. Let's talk about Grievous's history. He was a Kaleesh warlord. I'm trying to get his name right. Kemian Jal Shirlal. He suffered great injuries in a ship crash, and then he was rebuilt as a cyborg and then trained in the Jedi ways, or whatever the Sith ways, by Count Dooku. So this was a neat little idea that you could create this cyborg, train him in lightsaber fighting techniques, and he would be able to take on Jedi. And that was a really scary thing for the Jedi, especially when they're facing this new threat of the droid army. So the cyborg badass became leader of that droid army and became a real thorn this side of the Jedi. So like I said, he used to be a Kaleesh warlord. I have a few different versions of General Grievous toys throughout the years, including the first appearance from the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoon, movieverse, and also when they did kind of like this Legends, I don't want to say Legends, Mythos type figure of him. They did him prior to the cyborg implants and all that, which is a neat figure. I really like it, and I wish that maybe the Sideshow would do a Mythos figure for that, kind of like a la the Obi-Wan one they just did. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Maybe we'll see more collectibles on the side of General Grievous in the near future. So this is, like I said, the first deluxe figure from Hasbro. So there's not the only thing about this is that we get this D1 marking on the side of the box, indicating that it is the deluxe. This size figure box has been seen before. We're talking the Gamorrean Guard, Malak from Solo, A Star Wars Story, so on. So it's interesting that this is truly the first deluxe figure, and let's get into it a little bit as we get into the figure, and we'll talk about what sets this aside from other Black Series figures. So you get our standard window boxing here for Black Series. The presentation aligns up with the black and red boxing that's been going on since the first sequel toys, the first real run of the Disney branded Star Wars action figures. So your standard boxing here, and then on the back we have a little description here which comes straight from StarWars.com. Just explaining General Grievous was a brilliant separatist military strategist and a feared Jedi hunter, known for his ruthlessness and hacking cough. His body itself was a weapon, allowing him lightning-quick strikes and devastating blows, but he was also quick to run from a fight, a tactic that worked until one final meeting with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, so that's him. So let's get into the box, shall we? Alright, so Grievous is out of the clamshell, and what really kind of made people question if this is a deluxe figure or not? I would say, in my opinion, that it has a lot to do with the tooling. Now, taking him out of the package, just be warned, he is held in by the rubber bands that have come standard with a lot of figures now. So just be careful, because you'll see more and more here that, especially from the pics that I'm going to be sharing, that he is very thin, okay? And his articulation is based on a lot of thin joints, and you just want to be very careful. Don't just go and rip him out of the pack. So, so far so good. He stands up straight out of the pack. I just had him. There we go. He comes with a blaster, which has a nice metallic finish to it. A little bit of attention to detail here compared to when sometimes they'll just put just black paint on and say, hey, here's your gun. So not bad. The cool thing is he does come with four different lightsabers, which is a nice, again, attention to detail, seeing that he takes these from his Jedi victims after he defeats them. So it's cool that we're getting a nice array of these that I will show you later how they fit in with the figure, but besides him just holding them. But each lightsaber does detach, so you can just have the hilt, and you're getting 2 green and 2 blue with the figure. So that's a really cool thing. It would have been nice to have another color like an orange or something like that. I don't know. Sure, why not? But it's good for what it is. So we're going to take a look here next at the soft goods on the figure. Most of General Grievous is hard plastic, little soft plastic here and there, just for effect. But the real soft goods is his cape. So at first I thought maybe it was going to be like magnetic or something like that, but it's not. So just be careful. You can take it right off his head, peel it right over his neck, over his head, and you have a really nice cape here. Gray on the outside, red on the inside, and I'll show you the pictures here, but there's 4 pockets sewed in here, and you can tuck in the lightsabers, his little collection of lightsabers from the defeated Jedi, and he can carry them around. So those fit really nicely in there. I'll get some pictures of that as well, but let's take a look at the rest of it. It is open at the bottom, but there is some really nice stitching on the sides here. So this is a nice piece of clothing for a figure, especially at this range. So very cool. It's nice to have this because you know, you don't always want to have him in his cyborg visage, so it'll be a nice little change. So, like I mentioned earlier, Grievous has 4 arms. Okay, so which is a tactic of his, which he can go into wielding all 4 lightsabers. So that's why they give you the 4, or you can do 2 at a time. And something that is really appreciated is in the movies, it appears as though he only has 2 arms at a certain point. So Hasbro has gone ahead and made it so you can connect, and I'll do that right now. You can connect the arms together and hide the fact that he has 4 arms. And I think that this is genius. I was wondering if they were going to do this. And I wondered, first I was wondering if they were going to do it. And secondly, I was like, how are they going to handle this? So this is a simple solution to this. And he has 3 pegs, one on his bicep area, which plugs in, his elbow area, or I'm sorry, his forearm area that plugs in, and then his hands even have a little peg that plugs in. So you can definitely bring in the effect that's prior to him in his full appearance, but there you go, General Grievous with just 2 arms. So I like that. I have a lot of respect for. I'm trying to see if they don't appear to be articulated at this point. Maybe you can maneuver them to be so somehow, but I'm not going to play around with that too much. I'll let you guys do that if you do pick up this figure. But that appearance is great. Let's get into a little bit of the articulation. Outside of him not being articulated when his arms are together, they are articulated when they're apart. So you have some nice elbow bend there. Decent movement at the shoulders. Definitely up and down. Pivot. A little bit of a double joint there at the shoulder so that you can a ball joint and a pivot. So that's cool. I like that. Not a ton of motion. Like I said, you do want to be a little bit careful. He is very thin at points here, and that's just something you want to look out for. Double jointed knees, awesome, and then a nice ball joint at the hips. Torso articulation, rotating torso, which will give him the ability to turn and twist to a certain extent. Not too bad. And then the feet themselves, you have a little articulation here at the shin, and also the foot spins, and the claw. The claws don't move exactly, but you can get a little motion in the foot depending on what you're going for your posing. So that's cool. This guy has a lot of articulation, and I will show you more of it in the photos coming up that'll either be part of this article or woven into the review. So just keep an eye out for those. Next up, the paint on this guy. You know what? He looks great. Very, there's a lot of weathering on him, which makes him look realistic. The colors are solid. The face is most impressive to me. Within the face, you get to see his eyes, and that's pretty much the only look we get to have into Grievous's, prior being. So, other than that, he's all robot, and I'm really impressed by the detail in the neck, all the wiring, down through the torso. When you come to this kind of price range on a figure, I think this was $29.99 plus shipping. So it came out to $40 shipped to my house. So to get in my hands was $40, and that's not bad for this kind of figure, especially when you're selling other figures that size at the same price point. So happily, this looks exactly what I wanted out of the General Grievous figure, and I am more than pleased with the paint job. So good job guys. So, in closing, Hasbro put out a survey not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, about would their current fan base be willing to spend more money on nicer figures? Would you pay upwards of X amount of dollars for, say, a General Grievous figure? And then it came. You know, all these figures started coming out after people were like, you know what? If you want to get away from your general mass-produced toys and try to compete with, you know, the higher, more premium toy lines and stuff like that, please do so, because that's what people are begging for. I love the fact that I can go out and buy a Hasbro figure of a certain character, and I know it's not going to be made by Bandai, but it can stand into my collection. Yeah, sometimes the scale's a little bit off, but if you're willing to deal with not having to spend an extra $100 on a figure like this, which, to be honest with you, I don't know how they're going to get the Grievous figure under $100 when it comes to it being a Deluxe. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's going to be about $100 shipped. That's my guess. All right, so this is more than a worthy stand-in. I highly recommend it. It is available only as an online exclusive. I picked mine up at Entertainment Earth, but you can get them with a simple online search. Last thought: the only thing that could have made this figure better, because of his agility and the different poses, is a figure stand, and it's something that I'm going to recommend to Hasbro if you're listening. That moving forward, especially if you want to kind of make this your deluxe line or do something better with your figures, think about that. Just so that I can do crazy poses with him, like forward kicking a Jedi and also coming down with all of his lightsabers at once, So I have figure stands from my other collector figures that I've picked up over the years, so I'm not going to have too much of a problem, but just a small suggestion. But all right, Towelites, like I said, I'm going to give it my seal of approval. I recommend that if you're looking for a General Grievous figure in this scale, go and get this one now before it's gone. They're just hitting the market right now. I got mine about a week ago, so it's not too late. But once people start realizing that this is a pretty great figure, it's gonna start selling. So please do yourself a favor, go pick it up. Check out, we have a link straight to Entertainment Earth from the website if you do want to pick it up, so get on over there. But that's about it today, guys. I'm happy that I finally got to kind of vary up my reviews. It's been nice to review, cover different products from different companies. I do a lot of Mezco reviews because it is my main concentration, but I am going to try to get more figures like this out and get my thoughts out onto the interwebs and share them with you. So thanks for watching. You can check out don'tforgetatowel.com. It's your daily source for all things geekly, news, reviews, interviews, and more. We're also on the social medias at DFATOWEL, DFAT Towel on Instagram and Twitter, or Don't Forget Towel 1 on the Facebooks. So, check us out, interact with us, let us know how we're doing, what you'd like to see, and whatever you want to say, come yell at us. Also, these unboxings go up on our YouTube channel. Something that's kind of, we're not huge into YouTube media, but we put all our reviews up. And also you can link over to our sister network at Warlock Video. So check us out. Again, my name is Chris, and this has been a DFAT unboxing. We'll see you next time.